Hi, it's Yulia here. I'm your scent sister, and if you're watching this, you're my scent brother or my scent sister, or my non-binary scent sibling. Here on my channel, I like to chat about perfume. I'm not a perfume reviewer. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if it's not, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for being here if it is your first time. I just like to talk about perfume. That's what I like to do. And I use perfume to lure you into conversations with me. Today, I'm going to lure you into a conversation surrounding personality traits. And I'm doing a tag because one of the most amazing human beings that I've met to date, online or elsewhere, Jon Snow, scented Snowdrops, tagged me to do this tag about scenting personality traits, or your personalities, all the personalities. Listen, I don't have time to scent all my personalities because we are legion, and if you know, you know. So I'm going to leave his reel down below. I'm going to leave Joss's Fragrance Mixology's really cute video below. The Fragrantician did one of these. I'm going to leave that below, and I'm going to tag someone. I never do that. But Tami, you said you wanted to do tags because you like them, and so I'm tagging you to do this. Watch their videos to figure out what this tag is about, the people below. Basically, it's just to take your different personalities that make you and to scent them. I'm going to do something a little bit different. And if you want to play along with me, feel free to answer these questions in the comments. I'm just going to pop in here really quickly to tell you that if you want to do this, I'm going to tell you the questions right now. And if you want to write the answers before I go through it, because I actually tell you what the little categories mean as I go through it. And it's more fun if you do it without knowing. The first question is, what wild animal would you identify with and why? The second question is, what domesticated animal would you identify with and why? 3 is, what sea creature would you identify with and why? The next question has to do with how you feel in a room that is furnished entirely in white. Everything's there, but it's all white. And the final question has to do with the how you feel in a room that is entirely black. It's lit, but everything in the room is black. Those are the questions. This is the video. I'm going to do with you, because this is so fun. I want to do with you what I used to do with people that I was just meeting back in the university days, when we used to stay up past 7 o'clock at night. And we used to go to cafes and talk to each other and solve the world's problems while smoking and drinking cappuccino after 5 p.m. Oh my gosh. Oh, my ill-spent youth. How I mourn for you. So when I would meet a new person, I would ask them a series of questions, and then of course I would also answer them. The answers that you're going to get from me today are the answers that you would have gotten from 20-something-year-old Yuli. If you want me to do one of these updated, I would really have to think about it, but I haven't. But I remember my stock responses because we did this for so many years. It's a series of 5 questions, and if you want to play along, please feel free. I would love that. Of course I would. You would give a 1-word answer, then a 1 or 2 or 3 word explanation, and then a scent to go with it for the tag of scenting your different personalities. And then I'll tell you what the questions are supposed to mean as I answer them. How about that? You want to play? Let's play. Okay. The first question, by way of psychoanalyzing yourself without even knowing it, that we always used to ask was, if you could identify with any wild animal, what wild animal would you identify with? Why? And then scent that. So the wild animal that I would always answer was the gazelle. And it was my stock response the first time I did this test, and then I kept it afterwards too, because it really applied to me. And once you know what these mean, you'll see. Okay, you can fast forward all of this, I guess. The reason I chose the gazelle is because a gazelle could mess you up, eh? I'm sure they mess each other up. They have horns, and they're very strong and powerful. But you know what gazelles are known for? They're one of the fastest land animals. And so back in the day of university, I realized that I identified with the idea that I could be strong, that I could fight you, but I never did. I would just run. I didn't like conflict then, I don't like it now. And so the gazelle is this, presents itself one way. So it looks quite dangerous. It looks quite different than it behaves. There you go, the gazelle. And to scent that, I chose, I'm gonna take that off. This is Montale Arabians Tonka. There are a few reasons why I chose this. I did a review on it. I'll leave it up in the cards where I talk about it within the first week that I got it, which is a big mistake. I had to let this one macerate for quite a while, and then now I want to eat all of my words. In the video that I did, I talked about the fact that this was a saffron bomb and not much else. I didn't see the resemblance between this and my beloved Intense Cafe. And I didn't see how this was sweet. All I got was saffron. And now, although the saffron is still there, I do see the warmth. Well, I smell it. I smell the warmth. I smell the saffron still, but I'm beginning to smell the other sweet notes that you'll see scrolling here. So why would I pair Arabians Tonka with a gazelle? It has to do with the fact that this, you could consider this to be gentle at 2 sprays. At 2 sprays, you're getting away with it. See what I mean by that? It's a big stretch. With 2 sprays, you're getting away with it. You can wear this anywhere. It's lovely, it's sweet, it's cozy, it's warm. But after 2 sprays, you're into Vie Est territory and you would scare somebody away. These are fighting spritzes after 2 spritzes. This is an amazing, amazing creation that it's too strong. It's too strong even for me. And so it can be one way or the other. 2 spritzes, you're leaving beautiful sillage and projecting in a beautiful, quiet, kind of runaway, non-confrontational way. After 2 spritzes, you're fighting. You're using your horns. That's my explanation for that. Now, the wild animal in the psychology test represents how you think people see you. So I think people see one thing in me when really I am very much something else. That's that. The second question is to think about a domesticated animal that you identify with and why, and to scent that. And so the domesticated animal that I used to choose back in university was another bovine creature, was the cow, the humble cow. And the humble cow, because cows are lazy inherently. You know, if that was my one word answer, because cows are inherently lazy. They chew the cud, they reproduce, and then the work is done through them rather than by them, because by eating and standing, a cow creates milk, which is its job. And the other thing about a cow is that it's kind of superfluous to us. We do not need cows. We don't need cows to eat, although some people would argue that. And we do not need cows for their milk. We don't need the milk of another animal. This isn't that channel, but I'm just saying they're lazy. The work gets done through them naturally without them doing anything. And yeah, they're not very necessary, are they? When I was in university, that was my answer, because I was very lazy. I did the least. Yeah, everything that I did came very naturally to me, and so I did very, very, very little work academically. And I got by, and I was just lazy, and I was not very necessary. There I was, and that was me. I was the cow, and I chose Philosophy's Fresh Cream, which sounds like it's related because there is a whipped cream note in here. All of that. That's not why. I chose this because this is kind of it doesn't work very hard, does it? This one is quite notorious, nefarious even, for having not great performance. Philosophy Fresh Cream is a sweet, lactonic, creamy scent. And you could put that there with the cow, but mostly it just doesn't last very long and you don't really need it. Now, I use this one to spritz myself before I go to sleep. It's empty, okay? It's empty, but this is a very sweet, very fresh, very beautiful, very lazy scent. It doesn't work very hard, but it doesn't really have to, does it? I just spritz it on before bed, and by the time I fall asleep, I've used it for what it is. So there it is. The domesticated animal represents how you see yourself, and so there it is. That's how I see myself, or it's how I saw myself in university. Have things changed? I don't know. The third question is the sea creature. What sea creature would you identify with and why, if you want to write it down below and scent it for yourself? The sea creature I used to choose all the time was the mermaid. I don't know, the first time anybody ever asked me that question, I was like, yeah, mermaid, for sure, mermaid. And they would say, why? And I was like, I don't know if they exist or not. There's not really any evidence that they exist, but they're so elusive, and I feel like part of me is elusive. I was asking a lot of existential angsty questions when I was in university, and I wasn't getting very many answers, and mermaid was where I came up with. So that was my question, and the scent that I would use for a fantasy scent is Minuit, Demi, because it's my fantasy scent. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. I know some people don't get a lot of longevity out of this. This is Fragrantician collaboration with Demi, and to me this is a fantasy scent. This has pimento and cardamom and caramel and coffee and all things good. I absolutely adore this scent. It's spicy and sweet. It dries down to something very woodsy. It dries down to something, do you know what I just realized too? If you like By the Fireplace, you will love the far dry down of this. They're very similar. Nothing, the opening and the mid, not so much, but the dry down for sure reminds me of By the Fireplace. Cozy, warm. To me, I would wear this anywhere, anytime. And so that's why it's a fantasy too. I mean, what the heck kind of perfume could you wear anytime, anywhere? This is it. So just so you know, and I won't go into further details, but yes, I identified with a creature that I wasn't sure existed, and because of the mystery of it all. And the sea creature represents how you feel about sex. Enough said. The fourth and fifth question don't deal with animals. They deal with a room situation. And the first situation is you are in a room. Again, you can be writing these if you want. I would love to hear your answers and your sense. You're in a room, but the whole room, everything in the room is white. The wall, the ceilings, the floors, the rugs, the furniture, the couch, the statuary, if you will, everything in the room is white. How do you feel? And how would you scent that? In that room, I remember when I was asked that, gosh, I was so bored. Bored was the word that came to mind. I just, no, bored. Yep. And so that's it. That's the answer. And the fragrance that I chose for that, sadly, is Lancôme La Vie Est Belle. I have this. I have had this forever. I will always probably have this because other people like it and other people think that this is great. And so when I wear it, it gets me approval from other people, I guess. But it's very much white room. You know this. Everybody knows this. This is one of the most popular, if not the most popular perfume in North America. Yeah, orange blossom and patchouli and sweet, sweet, sweet and lovely, lovely, but I never reach for it because it's just like everybody else. The white room is how you feel about marriage, and that's how I felt about marriage. No, thank you. It was boring, and that's how I was. Like, I didn't get married until I was very old. That's not true. I didn't get married until late. Regardless, white room, marriage. La Vie Est Belle. The final question in this insanely long list of things to scent my personality is the same. It's a room and you go into it, but the room is all black. The room is black, the furniture is black. It's beautifully appointed, but it's all black. How do you feel? And to me, the answer in the black room was always comfortable. It was always fine. It was always cozy. It was always yes. It was never any kind of negative feeling. I never had any, I mean, I dress in all black quite often. I feel very comfortable with the darkness. The room isn't necessarily dark, it's just that everything in it is dark. So if you want to put your answer down below for what you think. The scent I chose for that comfort that comes from that black room is Dior's Hypnotic Poison. It's a nice scent and I like it. I don't go running for it. I'll probably won't buy it again. I probably will never run out of it because I don't reach for it very often, but I like it. It's cozy, it's comfortable, but I don't go chasing after it. It's nice.
That's how you feel about death, folks.
Is the black room and Hypnotic Poison. And again, the association there is not that poison is deadly and will kill you, but the association there is that it's fine and it's nice and it's cozy and I like it, but I don't go running, chasing after it. I don't have a death wish, but at the time, you know, all those existential questions, but it never really bothered me to think, where do I come from? What am I doing here? And where will I go? Those were kind of the questions that I was asking, but I wasn't getting any answers, but I was okay with that because I was in the process of asking, you know? So, this gives you a little insight into kind of that part of who I used to be as an academic, Yuli. And so these are the scents that scent that time in my life where I was at. I know that that's not exactly what you had in mind, Mr. Snow, but that's how we did it. I hope you've enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this, and I really hope that some of you, if you want, will play in the comments down below by naming the wild animal, the domestic animal, the sea creature, and how you feel in the red and the black, the white and the black room. Yeah, so that's it for this tag, and it was really a chatty one, and one that I really enjoyed and really thought about, and really I like my choices. I think my choices are really apt for how I was feeling at that time. I just want to be clear, I never had these scents at that time, but these are the scents that I have now that to my mind represent those sentiments. Does that make any sense? Probably not, hey? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Like, this is so fun for me, and I just want to thank folks who are there for me. You know, I'm never not gonna say stuff in the comments. I'm never not gonna gush over every single one of your comments. That's just how it's gonna be. So thank you so much for being here, and I wish you the very best, my scent brother, scent sister, my non-binary scent sibling.